let's talk more specifically about Blake Snell because it's it's getting a little scary. ERA sitting at 5.55, 1-2 record, and the problem is, even in today's game, he only goes 3 innings, throws over 80 pitches. So I'll let you start out, Chase. What's going on with Blake Snell? Do we need to change our expectations? Because since he's been in San Diego, and it's been 11 starts, so not a ton of like a huge sample size, but he has not been the Cy Young caliber pitcher that we kind of expected him to be, and I don't think that he necessarily has to be that for the Padres to win and make a World Series run. I don't think that's the case. But should we lower expectations, or should they still be that Cy Young caliber guy?
I think we need to lower them for the time being. With the way he's not hitting his spots, he's throwing way too many pitches per games, and he gets himself into a lot of jams that he just seems to not get out of. He's sort of, kind of been like the Paddock at the beginning of the season, where he may have a quick inning here or there, but the times he doesn't, the innings just drag on and on and on. The walks just keep on coming. We'll see games where he only has like 2 hits, but he's given up 3 or 4 earned runs just because he's walked 5 people and he can't go any further in the game because he's thrown 90 pitches by the 4th inning, and maybe he goes out for the 5th inning and gets out of it. But at that point, you might as well just come in with your reliever with a fresher arm and be like, okay, I trust this guy more to get out of it than my starter who's supposed to be a Cy Young Award winner. Yeah, expectations need to be tempered because he just doesn't have control over any of his pitchers right now, and I don't think any of us have an answer to why that is.
Kind of backtracking, I feel like expectations maybe needed to be tempered when we traded for him. After he won the Cy Young, he immediately got it back up to like a 4.2, 4.3 ERA, maybe even higher. And then the next year, in I think like 6 starts, he went back to like a 3.24. So 3.24 is pretty good, but that's only in 6 starts. It was a 60-game season. Pitched a really good game against the Dodgers. But that's nothing. That's nothing compared to what he did his Cy Young year, going 21-5 and with a 1.89 ERA. That's spectacular. And now you see him going out there, and I don't know if it's a mental thing, mechanical thing. I don't know what it is, but nothing is clicking for him right now. He's missing all his spots. His off speeds don't look very good. I mean, even Mark and Don were pointing it out. Who was catching today? Rivas, right? So Rivas was setting up outside, down and out, and he would miss up and in. Like, it wasn't even close. So basically all the hitter has to do is, tell him like, hey, I'm going to wait for you to throw me a strike, because I know the one strike you're going to throw me is probably going to be a cookie. And just like today, you're probably going to give up 4, 5, 6, 7 runs. And it's tough because he's only had one quality start. But we absolutely have to temper our expectations for Blake Snell. I think if he can get it down to like a 3.8, I would be happy with that. Plenty of starts left in the season. I don't know how I feel about it right now. I definitely think that the whole I have to go 6 innings thing is really messing him up. There's probably a lot of pressure on him to go 6 innings, probably a lot of pressure on him in a new city, but it hasn't really affected Darvish, so I don't think that new city thing is really an excuse. Yeah, but expectations absolutely need to be tempered for Blake Snell.
So we were looking at his career numbers, and you brought up the MVP year. So in that 2018 season, not MVP, the Cy Young year. And in that Cy Young year in 2018, he threw 180 pitches and gave up a 178 batting average to opposing hitters, along with a 0.97 whip. So absolutely dominant numbers, right? Right now, he is sure as hell not on pace to throw 180 innings. That's for sure. He's never thrown over 130 besides that year. So like that year, at this point, that year is a really like big time statistical outlier when you start looking at like all of the numbers. And it's not like Blake Snell's been a bad pitcher or anything like that. Like most of his whip is around 1.3, like 1.2 to 1.3 range. Right now, he's a 1.6. He's giving up a 237 batting average when he's usually around like 220. Actually, the 237 batting average is kind of average, but the 1.6 whip is the thing that's really standing out. And that's the thing that I think not even just us, but every Padre fan has seen. He is struggling to hit the zone so much. And even when he does, even if he only gives up a couple hits, you can almost guarantee that it's going to be a huge hit, because there's going to be guys on base, because most likely he's already walked a guy or hit a guy or done whatever to have a guy get on base, and he's all over the place. I think that was an excellent example when you're talking about how the catcher is setting up outside, away and outside, and he goes up and in. Like, it's not even close. And Chase, you were kind of talking about his changeup. Do you want to get into that a little bit? Because that was really interesting. Just your thoughts on that.
Yeah, just from what I've seen throughout the games, it's every time he throws his changeup, it's never really like an out pitch for him. He just throws it, and it's kind of like a waste pitch. The batters never swing at it. It's always off the plate. It's almost always a ball. They just never swing at it. It's like, okay, cool. It's guaranteed a ball. The batters never swing. It seems like they pick it up right out of the hand. Then compared to his curveball and slider, he'll actually get swings and misses on him. Like, the one game he had a quality start, he was wild within the zone, and you saw it was a really good fastball, a really good curveball, and a really good slider. And his changeup really wasn't to be seen that game. So when he does throw it, I'm just like, why are you wasting a pitch like that when you could go with some of your better stuff and make a better pitch than that to possibly get the guy out, instead of just running up your pitch count again or running up count in general? That's just my thoughts on it. I think he has better off speed in his curveball and slider, and just needs to focus on getting those two pitches within the zone and working on his fastball more, instead of just using his fourth pitch as whenever he wants.
I'm not really going to talk about the changeup. I think I'm just going to talk about what it just makes me mad that we gave up so much for him. And I bring it up a lot that we gave up so much for the guy. And he's talking about like, oh man, I'm only an 82 in the show. Dude, it's hard to argue for you to be a 75 right now. Like, it's just, everything's just not going good for him. I mean, I could argue that he has okay stuff. It's not like he's throwing horrible pitches. He's just throwing a lot of balls, which I don't know why you're throwing so many balls, but he has decent stuff. I wouldn't say it's amazing. And he even pointed out, like, you guys could be mad, but I feel like my stuff is good. I feel like I'm locating good, but I haven't seen any of that. Like, I get why he probably thinks that, and maybe he is just getting rocked. Like, he is throwing his spots and he's just getting rocked, but I don't see that. I see him missing his spots. And when he is in the zone, he's in the zone, like right in the thick of it, right in the middle where someone's just going to take you deep. And then, so I think that's just what makes me mad, is that it doesn't really feel like he's focused on baseball itself. It feels like he's more focused on his ratings on the show. And, that's cool, but like, I don't really know how to feel about Blake Snell right now, to be honest. But hopefully it turns it around. We all want him to succeed.
Yeah, I know, and he's done it in the past. So that's the thing where it's like hard to look at, though, because you look at his career numbers and it's like every year it's like it's one really dominant season and not bad seasons. Like, his season right now is not where he normally is at, but it's not like he's been like crazy dominant and stuff in his past. So it's definitely something to bring up. But I think that'll probably do it for Snell, like, just to kind of quickly go over it. But anything else you guys wanted to add before we take off?
Yeah, I think we need to move Blake Snell back down in the rotation, switch him like to the 5 spot, because that way, our bullpen might be saved a little bit more with Darvish, then Musgrove, then I guess it would be Paddock Weathers, then Lamet, and then possibly Blake Snell as the 6th guy, piggybacking with Miguel Diaz, because you never know how many innings that guy's going to go.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy that it's got there. I mean, like I said, it's only been 11 starts, but based on what we've seen in the 11 starts, and I also don't think that they're going to do that yet. Like, Chase, you don't think that they have any like thoughts of doing it like soon, right? But it's something that like is kind of like, you feel is like kind of starting to come up, right?
It will.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. It's just like, all right, man, like 11 starts is only 11 starts. But it's still 11 starts. Like, we've still seen you out there many, many times, and guys get into funks all the time. So you could definitely, break out of there or whatever it is. And he was talking about if he's not hitting his spots, or he feels like he is hitting his spots and it's going to come around, that's also a positive thing as well. But Isaac, did you have something else to add?
Yeah, this is my winning moment right here. Chris Paddock is doing better than Blake Snell. But you're right. It's definitely something positive that, he feels like he's hitting his spots. At least he's not, I feel like with Chris Paddock, he was all up in his head and he was very mentally drained. And I feel like, that's opposite with Blake Snell. So hopefully he breaks out of it. We're all rooting for him to break out of it. We gave up a lot for the guy. He could suck all he wants right now, but when we get to the playoffs, if he looks like Kershaw or Cy Young, then all will be forgiven.
Oh, 100%.
Isaac,
we'll have you eat your words.
I know.
We all say it's only been 11 starts, but if you look at like the average amount of starts that a starter pitches throughout a 162 game season, it's usually between 30 and 36 starts. He's practically thrown his 1/3 of the season for, and we haven't seen many major improvements, except for one game, which we can consider an anomaly at this point.
That's true. I mean, it's a one quality start. That's the thing. So, no, I definitely get the frustration. I mean, I'm frustrated as well. And he comes out, and it seems like most series, like he's the guy you're like, oh, we even said it. We said the Sunday game is the swing game. We said that last preview. Like that's the game. Like I think the first 2 games are winnable. Now we also thought Darvish was going to come out there and be lights out, and he wasn't. But yeah, it's frustrating stuff. I mean, we're all rooting the best for Blake Snell. Like we hope he goes out there and dominates, but it's getting frustrating at this point. I think everyone feels the same way. But I mean, if you're confident Blake Snell, you think he's going to bounce back, let us know, because I want to hear why. I want to feel excited about Blake Snell, be optimistic about it, because right now I'm not very optimistic about it, unfortunately. But I think that's going to do it for this segment.